Mom! Hey, where did you go? Right now, Dad is looking all over for you.
Huh? Is this you, Ed? Are you using your dad's phone again to try and text me?
Well, Mom, I don't have a phone of my own to text you from, so I had to take his.
And a boy in 5th grade doesn't need to have a smartphone at his age, right?
I know that, but Dad told me that when I needed to talk with someone else in the family while they are out, I could use his phone and text. Also, Dad had a small accident with his hand, right? And so he can't use his hand to text you right now.
Yeah. I knew that man was going to care more about you than anyone else. But if he really wants to spoil someone, he's better off doing that with my daughter, who looks just like me, since she is definitely the better-looking one of you two.
You're talking about Avery, right?
Yes, that's right. You already know that I'm in love with all things that are both cute and beautiful. And that's why I'm only in love with your cute older sister, Avery.
Mom!
Just a second ago, you had asked me where I am right now, right? Well, I'm at the airport right now.
The airport?
I'm going to be taking your sister to France with me, and she's going to become a supermodel with the help of her mom.
She's going to become a supermodel in France?
I'm going to take her to Paris with me, and we'll find her a modeling agency who will take great care of her. And you are far too ugly to be a kid of my own, so I won't be needing you anymore. Well, you only ever ended up as a kid of mine because your dad brought you along with him in the marriage, so I don't even have to call you a part of my family anymore. So please don't think anything bad of this, okay?
Dad is asking, have you filed out any divorce paperwork yet?
Tell him that the paperwork is sitting on the coffee table in the living room.
All right. Well, then that's fine with me, is what he said.
Huh?
Well, Dad just said that about you a second ago, but I feel the same way about you as well now. Have fun in France, Mom. Bye-bye.
Hello, Ed? This is your phone number, right, Ed?
And who am I speaking to right now?
This is your mom, Andrea.
What?
I've heard about how you've been doing so well for yourself, Ed. So now you can look up to me as your mom since I was able to get you to this point, and I can feel good about myself again as well.
I'm sorry to say this, but I don't believe I'm speaking with my mom right now.
Well, it has been 10 years since we last met, and I'm sure my number is different from the one I had back in those days. But look, I'm your mom. And if you're wondering how I got your number, I was able to get it from your aunt. Your aunt was kind enough to tell me that you're getting into the showbiz yourself there, huh? And that you'll be going into Hollywood for your debut, right?
That freaking dog. She's really gone and done it now.
Hey, come on now. You should not be speaking about your aunt in that manner, okay? It's because of her that I'm finally able to talk to you again, and you can finally speak with your mother once more. I bet you're so happy to finally hear from your mom again after 10 long years of waiting, right?
But I already told you, this is not my mom's number that I'm currently speaking to. Also know that she has only one phone and she's never told me nor anyone else that she has another. So tell me, what the hell do you want?
Come on, Ed. You don't have to give me such a cold shoulder. I know it's been a long time since you've heard from me, but you should still know how to talk to your own mother, right?
Look, can you quit it with all that BS?
Huh?
Are you kidding me? Can you not tell by the way I'm talking to you right now that I don't see you as my mother anymore and that I never want to again?
Huh?
You and that girl of yours, both Dad and I don't care about you guys. And all you do is bring back our bad memories by talking to me again. So go the hell away. And never try texting or calling me again.
Ed! This drama that I'm watching right now, I can tell just by looking at your face that you're the one playing the rival to the main character, right? I saw your name in the opening credits, and that face of yours is the same as when you were back in 5th grade. I totally get it now. Back in the day, you were a bit of an ugly duckling, but now that you've grown into a young adult, I have to say that you are one handsome-looking gentleman. Amazing. So you really are my son after all.
Ugh. You're texting me again?
Hey! Do you really think that's the right way to talk to your own mother? It's not. So you'd better start talking to me in a polite manner from now on.
You're not my mom. And that is why I'm talking to you like the annoyance you really are.
All right already, all right. I get it that it's because of me that you've become this amazing little actor. It's because of all that wishing and praying that I did to have a child of mine turn into an actor that you've become such an amazing person, right?
Seriously?
And compared to you, your older sister Avery, well, let's just say she's not doing as great.
What's happened to Avery?
Well, her and I are coming back to the States soon.
Weren't you and her trying your hardest to get her to become a supermodel or something?
Well, that didn't ever really turn into anything more than just a dream. I thought for sure that since she's a natural beauty, she'd be able to make it in one of those agencies over there, but of course, those French have a different idea of who's beautiful or not. So in the end, any agency we went to never gave her a chance to model, and any private work she tried never ended up being scouted. And what's worse is after failure, she began to eat a lot more bread and stuff to fight the stress. And let's just say she's gained a few pounds. Really, she's no longer a beauty whatsoever, but rather the definition of an obese person. Seriously, I cannot use her at all now. But this is why, to me, you were the perfect son any mother could ever ask for. My prayers were finally heard, and you turned into the most handsome-looking young man imaginable.
Well, I didn't get this far because of you.
Huh?
The only reason I've become an actor is because I wanted to become one, so I put in the effort to get to where I am now. To tell you the truth, it's supposed to be the manager's job to be here with me to help me diet and make sure I stay up to date on roles, right? Well, you haven't been here for me these past 10 years, nor have you ever been my manager, so screw you.
Huh?
Also, people don't just make it in a modeling or acting business by looking good.
Ed!
You have to be able to act as well, whether it's on stage or in the studio. And you have to be able to work to become the character you want to be, which takes weeks to perfect.
Wait a minute.
So you have no right coming to me acting as though you've put any work or care into me? Therefore, please, for God's sake, just leave me the hell alone so that you don't cause me any headaches anymore. Seriously, stop talking to me. I'm not messing around right now.
Seriously, Ed? Don't you think you're going a little too far with all this after having blocked your own mother's number now?
Are you kidding me?
I had my phone number changed so that I could get in touch with you again.
I told you already, stop trying to get in touch with me anymore.
Oh my. Well, why would I ever want to stop talking to my son? Are you really sure you want me to stay away from you even longer than I already have? I plan to become your manager soon so that you can become even more famous.
What?
You don't have to try and keep me at bay anymore. I promise that I'll do everything in my power to make sure you get as many roles as you'd like. And if you're worried about me having any experience, just know that I've been the manager for Avery for the past 10 years, and I did a wonderful job at it.
By wonderful, do you mean you failed her on multiple occasions, and that's why you're back?
Huh?
As from what you've told me, you didn't take Avery anywhere as her manager, and only led her to becoming fat and sad about her life. You told me that yourself the last time we chatted about her.
Well, that was something else. It had nothing to do with me as her manager, rather do with her way of thinking. She didn't have the drive she needed to become a supermodel, and that's why things didn't work out for her. But you're different. I know that with my help, I can take you to the top.
Well, I'm already on my way there.
Huh?
My manager happens to be one of the most well-known in the Hollywood world, and she also happens to be my mom.
Your mom? Ah, right. So this is your way of saying that you want me to be your manager, right? Understood, Eddie. I'll make sure to make you huge in Hollywood, and make sure that you and I never have to worry about falling out of the spotlight ever again.
Wrong. I'm talking about how I already have a manager and mother, and she's not you.
What? What do you mean by that?
My dad happened to get remarried about 8 years ago.
Huh?
And not only did Dad end up getting remarried, but he did so with a woman who he ended up having a baby girl with, and she has the most beautiful face and figure. But, unlike you, she's not the kind of person to only care about those that are attractive looking, and is willing to love everyone in her family very much. And so because of her warmth, I've been able to forget about the cold past that I had with you as my mother, and can now live a new life as a successful man.
That man, he got remarried to a new woman? And not just that, but had a girl with her?
And that's why I've been saying that you're not my mother this whole time. It's been 10 years since you left Dad and I, so I have zero clue why you're back here now trying to talk to me like you ever cared about my family. But if you really think that you have any chance of getting back into this family as my dad's wife, then you're strictly mistaken, as there's zero chance of that happening now.
What?
That's what I thought.
I have no other choice right now. 10 years ago, my dad, who was a very wealthy person, passed away. And of course, after his death, I received a lot of that money in his will from him. And when that money came to me, I thought it would be the perfect chance for me to get my daughter to become a famous model. And that's why I took her with me to France and started to make her model.
I see. So that's what Dad was explaining to me about after you left us?
During the first year, I was never able to land her any modeling gigs, and so I just thought that was a part of the industry. And since she didn't have a name for herself yet, I decided it would be better for the two of us to start conforming to life there first before getting into modeling. But then it was 2 years, and then 3 years, and time just kept on going without us ever seeing any real work come for us. And during that time, Avery graduated from an international high school there. That was the moment I thought she'd really put all her time into modeling, without the need to study, but I was wrong. But then I started to really have a closer look at her, and it appeared to me she already gave up. And the food there had gotten the best of her. She was no longer the beautiful young woman I pictured her as, rather a model for some weight loss ad. And it wasn't just that. I noticed that a lot of the money from my father had dwindled away, and so I had to make the choice to bring us back to the U.S.
What?
The house that your sister and I had been planning on living in is no longer there for us. And so right now, we don't have a place to go home to.
Right. Currently, your mom is in an elderly home, spending the last couple of years of her life being cared for by the nurses there.
What?
I heard from her that she used the money left over by her husband and the money from the house when she sold it to get into a really nice home where there are all sorts of amenities for her.
You're kidding. So that means there really is no place for us to go?
And that's not all, actually. You ended up taking your daughter away with you to another country, even though she never really wanted to. And while there, you used up not only your own money that you received from your late dad, but also the money that was supposed to be left for her. There were apparently a few other people that were supposed to get the money from your late father, who never did because of you.
What are you talking about? Where is my mom right now?
I have no clue where she chose to go, besides that it's good for her.
What?
So far, everything I've been telling you has been okay to tell you, as the other parties involved don't seem to mind you knowing. But even if I did know more about your mom, I wouldn't tell you as she never gave me the permission to.
Hold on a second. If you're not going to tell us where she is, how are Avery and I going to live?
Think about that one yourself, Andrea.
Huh?
Ah, there's another thing. As for that aunt of mine that ended up causing you to learn about my current situation in the first place, the whole family has stopped talking to her. So if you're trying to go for her for more information regarding me, you won't learn anything more than you already know.
Huh?
Now, I have to get ready to head into the studio for another session of takes, so I'll be going now.
Huh? Wait a second, Ed!
I'm blocking you again.
Right now I'm stuck in a cheap motel with Avery and we don't have much money left to keep us here. When it's all gone, we'll have to move into the streets. Hey, I'm only asking you this one time to please give me a place to live, just for a little bit. Ed!
There was one last thing that I never ended up explaining to Andrea, and it all had to do with the information that was left over regarding her late father's money and assets, and who they all went to. On that sheet of paper, she could probably take a closer look at it and learn where her mother ran off to, had she just taken the time to do so. Of course, Andrea or Avery could still think of that as an option and take a look for themselves, but I was never gonna recommend that to her, as I just don't care about either of them. So whatever happens next with those three will be left unknown to me. And a couple days later, Andrea and Avery both appeared to have figured out where I was currently working in Hollywood and came to find me. But of course I told security of this, and they made sure to stay on the lookout for these two. And when they were spotted around the studio, security called the police, who then came and grabbed the two of them, where they later found some information on distant relatives of them who they ended up calling to come get them. And within a day, a black minivan pulled up outside the police station to pick those two up, and then they were gone for good. My dad later called me to tell me that distant relative was Andrea's younger sister, who ended up taking those two into her company to work for her, day and night, for the rest of their lives. It was such a relief to learn that Andrea and Avery could no longer touch any of us anymore, and ever since then, I've been able to live in peace. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.